I am Maria Sheena Lerio, one of the reporter of articles of La Solidaridad. But first, we must view a short video of prayer.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You will lead me through the fire, and in darkest night you were close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Yeah. And all my life you have been faithful. Oh, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yeah. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running, it keeps running after me. And all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna sing. Oh gosh, 'cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna
After the prayer, we had a short energizer.
What's up, my mammals? This is Sid the Sloth from the movie Ice Age, and we're about to do this new dance, the Continental Drift. It's time to get up on your feet. It's easy to do. Just follow me. Move it out. Do the Sid. Take it back and do the Sid. Step left, then drift. Step right, and then drift. Crisscross and do the man-made. Crisscross and do the man-made. Now jump, jump, wiggle your rump and walk it out like grand. Move it out. Do the Sid. Take it back and do the Sid. Step left, then drift. Step right and then drift. Crisscross and do the man-made. Crisscross and do the man-made. Now jump, jump, wiggle your rump and...
After the energizer, we have a priming activity. So question, if your country is being treated unfairly and you are not allowed to speak freely, how would you make your voice heard? So during the Spanish period, Filipinos were also searching for a way to express their ideas and fight for reforms. One powerful tool they used was a newspaper called La Solidaridad. So, what is article La Solidaridad? La Solidaridad was a Spanish language newspaper published in Barcelona and later Madrid from 1889 to 1895 by Filipino expatriates and students who were part of the propaganda movement. Its main goal was to advocate political and social reforms for the Philippines while it was under Spanish colonial rule. So as I said, ang La Solidaridad kay usa din siya ka newspaper nagi-publish sa Barcelona katong later Madrid from 1889 to 1895. So propaganda ni siya about movement or sa reform, like ang main goal ni ani nga article was to advocate political and social reforms for the Philippines while it was under Spanish colonial rule. Articles in La Solidaridad addressed wide-ranging issues such as first, political reform. So they asked Spain to give the Philippines political reforms, including allowing Filipinos to have representatives in Spanish Parliament. Second, criticism of friars and officials. They wrote about how some Spanish friars and government officials abused their power and treated Filipinos unfairly. Third, freedom and inequality. They supported freedom of speech, the right to gather peacefully, and equal treatment under the law for Filipinos. Fourth is liberal ideas. They promoted ideas about democracy, progress, and giving people more rights. And lastly, voice of Filipino reformists. Since the writers were educated Filipinos living in Europe, La Solidaridad became the main publication where they shared ideas to question Spanish rule and defend Filipino rights. Some of the major contributors and editors of La Solidaridad including Jose Rizal. He is a frequent contributor. He often wrote articles for La Solidaridad to express ideas about reforms and Filipino rights. Graciano Lopez Jaina, the first editor. He was the first person who managed and led the publication of La Solidaridad. Marcelo H. Del Pilar, the later editor. He became the editor after Lopez Jaina and continued running the newspaper. Mariano Ponce, Antonio Luna, and others, they also helped by writing essays and articles that supported reforms and Filipino rights. One of the famous article pieces published in La Solidaridad was La Indolencia de los Filipinos. It's a Rizal essay published as an article in La Solidaridad that examines the stereotype of Filipino laziness, arguing that it is caused by Spanish colonial oppression, harsh working conditions, and lack for education, rather than inherent traits, and calls for reforms to unlock the nation's potential.
Good day everyone, I'm Chito Lacanglacang. I'm going to report the La Indolencia de los Filipinos. In Jose Rizal, Indolencia de los Filipinos, he examines that why Filipinos were considered lazy by the Spanish. By carefully reading the article, we understand his arguments, example, and historical context why he shows that the perception was caused by oppression, poor governance, and limited opportunities, not by the Filipinos' character. In this part, Rizal is trying to analyze where the idea of Filipinos' laziness came from. Instead of simply accepting the accusation, he carefully studied the social condition during the Spanish colonial period. During the Spanish rule, many Filipinos were forced to work through systems like polo e servicios, where men were required to render forced labor for the government. Many had to leave their families and farm just to work on projects for the Spanish authorities. Because of this, farms were abandoned and productivity decreased. If the Spanish saw this might say Filipinos were lazy, but Rizal explained that this was not laziness, it was a result of unfair policies that affected the people's ability to work normally. So, ang Pilipino kay ana si Rizal nga dili daw jud sila tapulan kung ano sila karang wa sila ganahi tungod kay kuan ang gobyerno sa during Spanish karang gi forced labor tungod na o kuan kanang karang di sila ganahan mo sunod kay batig maagi. Issue discussed. The main issue addressed is the misconception of the Filipinos' laziness. Rizal explained that this indolence was the result of colonial policies, social injustice, and economic exploitation. Filipinos were deprived of education, fair work, and governance, making them appear unproductive to the colonizer. Si Rizal iyang gi-explain nga nung Pinoy kay tawag nila og lazy kay dili tungod kay tapulan jud. Si explain si Rizal kay ngano nahimong tapulan ang Pilipino kay kuwang sila og kuan during atong Spanish period. Ang Pilipino kay kuwang og kuwang educational system, kuan sila kanang wa sila katarong og eskwela kay mahal ang og limited ra sa mga tag-as nga klase nga privilege ba ya kanang bisag unsaon la kanang study dili sila develop maayo kaya sa ilang skills o talent. Ya, example kay Filipinos work hard, sila kanang trabaho sila maayo. Ya, dili pud sila ka-produce kay og kanang daghan og goods kanang mga ilang na ani kay mapaduntar japon sa sa mga Spanish Spanish nga dagkog ranggo ilang pangwaon ra instead unta para sa ilaha mao to gagma sila kita mao ning si Rizal gi-explain niya nga dili tapulan ang Pinoy lang kanang nakuan sila sa unfair nga pamaagi sa governance. Rizal's viewpoint. Rizal criticized the Spanish colonial government and sympathizes the Filipinos. He argues that they are not lazy by nature but victims of systemic oppression. His tone combines rational analysis with moral criticism, urging readers to understand the real cause behind the stereotype. There is viewpoints ni Rizal, iyan yung sa iyang opinion nga he defended the Filipinos yun nga dili yun tapulan ng Filipinos o iyang gi-criticize ang Spanish colonial government for creating unfair condition in the society. Rizal also iyang gi-remind ang readers that Filipinos were hardworking even before the Spanish arrived. Sa katong wala pa Spanish diri yun ang mga Pilipino karang kugihan kibaw manguan masol na mag isda mo trade sa neighbor Asian countries and creating crops diri gi highlights na Rizal nga ang Filipinos are capable sila building of productive communities. The problem is dili ang Pilipino but the system yun itself kay wala limited freedoms o limited opportunities during the Spanish. Bisag karon kanang Rizal ang katong opinion ni Rizal is relevant Japon kay sometimes people mo judge sa nga judge sila nga wa sila kibaw unsay sitwasyon. For example kanang if someone does not perform well in school or work, we should first consider the challenge they faces, such as lack of resources, opportunity of support. Kanang kanang patanhinay kayo siya nya wa sila kibaw nga gi-judge la bugo daw wa sila baw nga kuwang ra daw sa kuwang wa sila kakuwag libro kuwang sila source sa unsa pag knowledge mao ra kini siya ang viewpoint na Rizal kay dili tapulan ang Pilipino is kugihan pero kuwangan lang sa resources tungod sa unfair nga just system. Propose reform. Rizal proposed education improved governance, improve governance, and fair treatment as solution. As he emphasizes that Filipinos need access to proper education, opportunities to work productively, and freedom from oppressive colonial practices. These reforms would help Filipinos develop their talents, participate meaningfully in society, and correct the misconception held by the colonizer. His call is for reform rather than rebellion, highlighting that positive change can come through awareness and structural improvements. In this part, Rizal explaining the solution to the problem he discussed earlier. Instead of iyang criticize tong Spanish government, ning suggest siya reform nga unsaon pag-improve ang sitwasyon sa Pilipinos. First kay Rizal believed that education was very important. He believed that Filipinos were given proper education, they could develop their knowledge, skills, and talents. So jud ang ni Rizal una jud niya kay education kay kung may edukasyon daw kay tungod daw sa edukasyon ang Pilipinos daw kay maka-improve sa ilang knowledge, ilang talent. Kay ang edukasyon mo makatabang sa Pilipinos unsaon ma-improve ilang understand nila ilang rights and become active member of society. Sikan ning Rizal suggest improve governance, meaning kanang fair ang gobyerno, dili corrupt tarong kang dapat na government nga responsible dun sa iyang a leader nga responsible sa iyang mga nasasakupan. Third, Rizal emphasized fair treatment for Filipinos. During the Spanish colonial period, Filipinos were often discriminated against and treated unfairly. Rizal believed that if Filipinos were treated equally and given opportunities to work and succeed, they could contribute more to society. So, tungod ang Spanish during Spanish colonial period kay unfair man kayo sila ang gitrato og ng Pilipino ato kanang mga katabang wala na tagaig tarong nga edukasyon.
So these are our short quiz to answer.
In conclusion, La Solidaridad played an important role in the Filipino reform movement by giving Filipinos reformists a platform to express this idea, expose injustice, and call for peaceful reforms through writing rather than violence. Although it did not achieve immediate success, it awakened Filipinos' nationalism and helped shape a stronger sense of unity and identity. The ideas it promoted later contributed to the rise of nationalist movement that led to the Philippine Revolution. Tungod sa La Solidaridad, na sila platform nga i-express nila ilang thoughts nga dili sila ganahan sa injustice system nya. Dako kilig important role sa Philippine reform movement kay diri nagkahiwo sa mga Pilipino nga mag-revolution towards sa Spanish kay wa sila ganahan sa pamaagi. That's all.